real estate team here, and now Jenny's recording. This is great. So
Our
yeah, so
team.
Jenny and I are lucky enough to have the same coach, and that's kind of how we got connected after seeing each other in the same kind of circles. And so we put this class together because we found that it one helps us, right? They say if you want to master something, teach it. So that's what we're doing. Um, and at the same time, we've both been kind of through the ringer. I mean, I've been in this business 15 years now, started as a part-time admin in college. And today I am proud to say that I'm the co-owner of a multi-million-dollar company, which is an insane ride. So if there is a people story, I have lived it, right? From being in the business to on the business to hiring people, to firing people to learning that freaking steep leadership curve. Um, Done it all. And so what we kind of thought about doing today is just being real, right? And having a conversation about what could people done for our business. You know, Jenny and I kind of joke, there are all these great one-liners in our classes that we do. But really, I think what started a lot of this is shout out to my Uncle Nay, right? So years ago, I ran into him at a family get together or whatever, and he asked me about work and business, and I kind of lamented about something. I don't even remember the specifics of it. And he looked back at me with that, that old man twinkle in his eye and just goes, it's all about the people, isn't it?
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, it really is. Like the success or the failure or struggle of your business is in direct proportion to the people you have in your world. And Jenny, I know you've been talking a lot about not only people leverage in business, but also people leverage in just your personal life, you know?
Well, Laura and I were here together today earlier, and the doorbell's ringing because my cleaning lady is here. The guy is here to set up the Christmas lights. So of course the dogs are barking. The kid's home early because she got out of school early today. And I was like, it's a chaotic mess. And Laura was like, well, right there is a version of leverage. And it's true because I used to hang on to all the things, whether it was with my home or my business. And I just thought I was the best at doing all those things. Now, not cleaning or hanging Christmas lights, but I still didn't understand that my time was valuable and that I can be more productive in my business to earn some income, to pay the people to help me. Yesterday, Laura, I taught a class in Wichita, Kansas, had the best time ever. And that's a part of it is I teach a class called Live Your Passion, Love Your People, Leverage Your Life. And so we did a calculation on your dollar per hour. If you make $100,000 a year, or that would be your goal, really breaking it down, if you were working a normal work week, let's pretend a realtor
Oh my
has,
gosh, you mean part-time?
yeah, really. Then, well, it depends which way you look at it, either overtime or not enough. And that would be $50 an hour.
Mhm.
So there are so many tasks in our business that we're hanging on to because we just don't want to take the time to learn the skills and the techniques that we are going to be teaching in our upcoming class about that. So leverage changes lives for real. It
It
does.
totally changes lives. Yeah, and I think, something, Jenny, that you and I were talking about earlier, when it comes to people, because learning how to hire people is interesting and hard, and you will fail your way forward. Disclaimer. Jenny, have you failed your way forward? Raise your hand. Yeah. So we were talking about the cost of a bad hire, and I think what people kind of forget sometimes is that sure, the cost of the bad hire is absolutely, the amount of salary or payroll that you've paid that person for the time being that they were with your organization. But kind of to your $50 an hour point, we're also not factoring what was your time worth? What about the people that you had in your organization that participated in that hiring process, let alone the cost for job placements, ads, the amount of time that you were focused on training this person that you might have maybe were distracted from doing your other stuff. Like that failed hire actually costs you a lot more than you think. And so we see that people don't want to slow down the hire right. Uh, they just want to run through it because they have an immediate need. I mean, I've been guilty of hiring out of pain before, and it bites me in the butt
Every 10.
times out of 10 times, right?
Yeah.
And so when we slow down and realize that this hiring process is an investment in their companies, then it makes the time and the energy and the money worth it, to make sure that we do it right on the front end.
Well, we all have heard and we say slow to hire, quick to fire. And yet, if you're a solo agent or just a really busy person with lots of irons in the fire, you can't even imagine slowing down enough in order to do this and take people through the process. But I have failed through so many people. I'm not proud of that. I just can say that I've continued to grow through each time of what I did wrong. I always love quoting the Gene Rivers that I learned so many years ago in Recruit Select, the precursor to career visioning. That's how long Laura and I've been around in this business,
Yeah.
in this world.
Okay, say your ABA number too, right?
Oh, I know. I was like mid, high, low, which was not the
549*5.
So pretty much, Laura, I was not a mega agent by those numbers, which is really interesting, and that's fine. Fire me from being a mega agent. That's cool. I'm good with that. But getting to know your piece of the pie does matter. Your role as CEO and owner of your business is setting it up for future success, and it comes through leverage of people. Inside of Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary and Jay and Dave say that people leverage is the most important of leverage.
Yeah.
You might not be able to use it first. Like if you're building your business, do what you can with systems and tools and technology. And you will, though, because you become successful, you will need more help. Oh, one thing I did have in my mind, I wanted to share, Laura. So the thing that I see the most is that agents become successful. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They are lead generating, they're following up, they're going on appointments, they're doing all the right stuff. And they then, because they're so successful, that attracts people to them.
Yeah.
And they're so great at selling people, buyers and sellers, that they just keep selling themselves to these potential team members to be a part of their team. Well, the first person a successful agent tends to attract, I see, is other agents.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually not the first person you should be hiring. And because they haven't taken the time to learn how to slow down and really, like, as you say, Heisman, the people.
Heisman.
I love it. I love the Heisman. I used it yesterday. But keeping people at bay until they prove that, and you take them through to make sure they're the right fit, is that then they go, oh, you want to be on my team? You're stroking my ego. You think I'm awesome? Come on, let's go. And they just bring them on because they just need help. They're in pain and they can't even slow down. And I really feel like a lot of egos in there early on.
Yeah, I had a coach ask me once after a particularly rough failed hire. She goes, "So what does hiring out of pain get you?" And I was like, "More pain."
Yes.
Like, hiring out of pain or desperation only leads to more pain or desperation. And so, yeah, if you are really good at what you do, it is only natural for your business to grow. And if your business is going to grow, it is only natural for you to need more help, right? Like, you're not going to be the one answering the phones, the door, doing all the things when you're out trying to show property. Forget lead gen. Like, I mean, come on, you can't do it all. And so you're right. I think most people do fall victim to hiring more agents. Oh, I just need someone else that can, like, handle that buyer that I don't want to work with. And if we look back at the MREA, which is kind of like our go-to model for all things real estate, first hire, admin, second hire, admin, and then we can talk about another agent.
Oh, I did it all out of order.
Oh, I'm sure we all did, and it's just like, I mean, we had this idea back in the day. Full disclosure, back in the day, our budget was, is there room on the Amex? Okay,
Yes.
great, charge it. We didn't need to follow the model. We were just gonna make it. It'll be fine. And I'll never forget our very first call with our first coach. It was Joe Bogart at the time, and he goes, "So tell me about your business plan." And I was like,
What's that?
"Okay." And I wrote it down, and then he was like, "Okay, so do you have standards for your buyer's agents?" And I was like,
Okay, gotta do that.
It's like I still keep that notebook from that very first coaching call, but it's because it's such a good reminder of where we started, right? And the action items were like business plan, need one, standards, have them, buyer's agent contract, write it, those fundamentals.
Yeah.
And today, looking back, I kind of chuckle at it, but like we all have to start somewhere. We have to learn somewhere. And I think the sooner real estate agents can take off the realtor goggles and put on the business owner goggles,
Mhm.
we're going to narrow that gap,
That's so
right?
true.
And
We need to remember that we're business owners. It took me a really long time to figure that out. Now that I know, I got to share it with everybody else that you need to know as well. You got to where you are because you're a great salesperson, and I choose to instead be a great business person. And that's what you're going to do when you take this class. Laura and I have taught it one time round. And we decided we wanted to teach it again because we feel like it's a really important message. But I feel like people don't know that they need to know this message, but you do. So anyone who is thinking about ever having some help in the administrative or the agent part of your business, you need to be hanging out with us for a little bit, because here's what I just did. I just took career visioning. Laura, have you taken it before?
I have multiple times.
Oh,
Learn
yeah.
something new every time.
Yeah. So I think I was in like my 5th time of taking career visioning. And as I'm sitting there, and I'm pretty experienced at this point, not that I've nailed it, not that I've mastered it, but I'm experienced in having conversations with people about joining our world or not. And I'm listening to this, and I knew that there were a lot of first time attendees of this class in the room. And I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking, this is great. I love this. It's really important for them to start somewhere. And then there has to be a follow-up and a what's next.
Mhm.
And would you say that this is really the what's next after career visioning?
Yeah. So if you think about career visioning, it is a lot of the why, and our class is a lot of the how,
Ah,
right? So you take career visioning, you understand the importance of doing it a certain way and following the model and hiring and da 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 da. And I remember leaving our first recruit select, right, which is the old career visioning, and being like,
yeah.
I took it. I know some more. So the more you take it, the more it's going to make sense. But to be able to take the why and why we need to use personality assessments and why we need to follow a model and have all this input and whatnot, and then go into the tactical and how the heck do I do this? Our course, in my opinion, and Jenny, we share the same one, is like, let's get tactical. Like our coach says, you don't want to have shelf help, right? You don't want to take a course and put it on the shelf and be like, well, that was cute. So with our course, The Power of People, like, it's tactical, man. Like after every session, that link that has the Google Drive where you get the spreadsheets, the charts, the systems, the scripts. Like I think it's just the coolest thing.
How
You know,
many times, Laura, how many times have people reached out to you and said, hey, do you have a 30, 60, 90 on an agent role?
yeah, is their name Jennie Wolek? Because she's done that a lot.
That's not what this question was about.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a dear friend.
just
A
ask
dear,
a lot of things. No, I get it all the time, right? Like, hey, do you have a job description for this? Do you have a 30, 60, 90 for that?
yeah.
How did you determine your team values? Like all of these different things. Hey, do you have an outline for your team advance or retreat? Yeah.
Ooh, let's add all those, Laura.
Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for the homework.
No, I got one too. It'd be great. Oh, wait, I just copied yours.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, so back to the reason that we're here. I think we've so far talked a lot about fear, but I want to talk about the faith part, the cool part of finding the right people, attracting great people that are in alignment with your core values and who you are and your mission is just then so exciting and so fun. When you can have great people that have come into your world, they trust you, they're on fire to help support the mission of the team, and you're in alignment and you train them properly and you hold them accountable, then the magic really happens. Laura, you have long-term people on your team.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have 2 people on our team that have been with us over 8 years. And I feel like real estate years are kind of like dog years. Like they just,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, right? And so these two are just, they get it, they understand it. It's so fun to lead them. It is so fun to pour into them, to watch them become leaders within our organization, to be able to kind of coach and train the next generation, so to speak, of people on the bus. Um, I would much rather pour into our people and go deep than have to constantly have new people because we have a revolving door of talent, right? So anytime that we can keep people for a long time, I'm all in. Like I think right now the newest member on our team, like it's 2 years, we hold on to him. It
Yep.
sometimes takes us a minute to find the right one, you know. So we definitely live the whole Gary Keller model of like slow to hire. Sometimes people will tell us we're a little too slow to hire, but we think of it as we're protecting that culture of our organization. And that's what you have to keep in mind. Anytime you're going to bring someone new, is like they got to make sure they jive with the culture that you have.
They got to jive. Ooh, let's make one of our quotes that includes jive.
Only if you will do your jazz hands.
I will. I love the jazz hands. Well, Laura and I've sure had a lot of fun, and how this course, Pop the Power of People, even came up originally was back in April of this year. We were masterminding together at a mastermind event, and the question asked us about what was the pain point, basically, that we know we should be doing and we're not doing. And Laura and I looked at each other. She has a great business. I have an okay business here in Tulsa. And we knew, though, that if we just really could get really great at nailing the talent, the who in our business, that everything could change for us. And so we right then got to work on building a GPS around how to, we call it badass talent, because we want to
That's
be
right.
we want to be badasses. And so how can we attract, train, and retain badass talent? And so that's where we got to work on putting everything from our Google Drives into a combined Google Drive that we are going to share with you. So
Yeah.
that's what we want to do. The first session is coming up here on December
9th.
9th.
Hold on. I wrote this down.
December 9th.
December 9th. Yeah. And I think, you know, something that we've done with this is made sure to put it in bite-sized pieces. Well, as bite-sized as a fire hose can be. And here's the thing. It's broken up over 3 sessions, 3 1-hour sessions, webinars, if you will, with a little kind of Q&A mastermind there at the end of each one. And we did that because time is valuable. Your time is valuable, right? And so hopefully your schedule aligns and you're able to time block to attend live in person, because Jennie and I love to interact and to talk and to see people and whatnot. But otherwise, guys, watch the recording. That's totally fine, right? How many? I definitely signed up for a webinar this week and am intending to watch the recording because there was no way I was going to make it there live, but I wanted the content, you know? So we believe in this course. It's helped us to become better business owners and leaders within our world. I've definitely learned some stuff from Jennie. I think she's learned or at least stolen a couple of things from me, which has been great.
So
It's so fun. And if nothing more, like you get to enjoy our banter. And usually we color coordinate when we are teaching, which is super fun.
or it's unplanned.
Like 100% planned.
Yeah. So I think, though, one of the biggest pain points that has always been for me is the training and the onboarding. And I still struggle with this. And Laura, you do a great job of sharing with us an outline of how you can even put together a Google portal for your business and your team. And it's a great resource for your new people. You know, we're working on building ours right now, and because you inspired us to get that into action. So, you know, what are some of the top secret things that they're going to learn? And we're not really telling them, but now we will.
But now, because they've hopefully been watching us for the last,
You know,
Brittany's
watching.
Brittany's watching. Hi, Brittany. So here's some of the stuff we're going to cover over the course of these sessions. We're going to talk about how do you make your core values for your team or your mission statement, because until you're clear on who you are as an organization, you cannot find the right people for your bus. There's no way. So we're going to get really clear on that. we're going to talk about how in the world do you lead generate for talent, right? If you're a real estate agent, you probably know how to lead generate for a buyer or a seller. What about a talent person? What about someone who is going to come work in your organization? That's a little bit of a twist. We're going to give you some tools and some scripts, more importantly, for how to do that. Um, we are going to talk about the hiring process to a little bit of a degree. Obviously, go use your own and whatnot, but we're definitely going to share some hacks. And between us, because we love systems, we definitely have some hacks on how to leverage technology and different things to just make the best hiring experience and manage your time well as well. And then once we get to the training section, we're going to talk about how do you make a great first day, first week? How do you lay that such a solid foundation and expectations so that you're really setting your people up for success? And then our super fancy 3-part training process that we're pretty proud of. We'll walk you through that. We use it for both of our teams. It's super fun. And then in the retain, guys, how the heck do you keep them? Right? You've got this amazing person that you found your unicorn, so to speak, and you brought them into your world, you've trained them up. How do you get them to stay for 5 years, 10, you know? So we're going to share our tips and tricks and things that we've kind of trial and error and have learned and have worked really well. And so we're basically, we put together kind of the all-star playbook, if you will, right, Jennie? And we're going to share that with you. And we're going to talk about it. You're going to have workbooks. You're going to have access to this Google Drive. And yes, I will teach you my little ways with the Google. It's pretty fun.
So fun.
Jennie loves that part.
I get it really excited. So one last thing I want to share is, we reworded kind of the catchphrase for this class because we want you to really understand that it is all about the people. Whether they're good people or bad people, your business will be reflected. That will be reflected in how you succeed as a business. And then we also share that we're going to give you the tactical tools to get your time back and grow your business and live your best life. So all of those work together. I used to have a huge fear around adding people into my world because I thought that'd be more work, more time, more stress. I'd have to worry about them. But actually, when I brought people into my world, and just once you get things up and going, you have freedom again. And this is, people say they want to get into real estate for all the freedom, the flexibility, and the financial windfall they're going to have. Well, none of that happens until you start leveraging your life. One last point I thought about as well is, now is the time that we've got to really, really, really be protecting our bottom line. The market's changing. We're going to have fewer transactions, and we have to be really, really clear on what matters most and what we put our money into. People is where you invest your money, but it needs to be the right people. So don't be cutting expenses or cutting people, but maybe you need to be top grading people or resetting standards or expectations. And Laura and I both share our team standards and expectations. And sometimes you have to go, oops, I'm a leader that messed up. Let's do a timeout and let's reset that we're all on alignment. Now is a great time with the changing market to have a team get together and like a come to Jesus, if you will, on the reality of the market. It's not all doom and gloom, but it's not all rosy and unicorns and rainbows at the same time. We got to be realistic and still know what we need to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, we like to say what got you here won't get you there, right? And if there is one thing that is constant in life, and especially in this real estate industry, is that there will always be change and things will always be evolving. And therefore, our teams are going to do the same, right? We're going to have to either learn new skills or go kind of sharpen off some skills we have not had to use in the last couple of years. And so now is a great time to kind of evaluate the people on your team and be like, all right, yeah, lock arms, we're all in this together. Or realize if you just have a couple extra butts and seats that you might be better off somewhere else, and those are all conversations that we should be having as business owners. And Jennie, I think one of the things we talked about with this is our umbrella that this class is in is be a badass business owner. And what we mean by that is to put those business owner goggles on, right? To make that conscious decision to shift from, oh, I have a real estate team to I run a company
Yeah.
and I run a company. And that is a whole different set of goggles. And so we're going to teach you how we do that. Um, and the fun teaser is this is only the beginning for us.
Yeah. Laura, I want to wrap up and share. Yesterday I was teaching and we were talking about this leverage piece, and a lady shared with me, she has a very successful business. She has a team, and she did admit out loud that she probably keeps people longer than she should. And so we actually shared, like, Laura and I are very nice people and we love people and we believe the best of them and we want them to succeed. And if they're not nailing their role, then we've got to be a business owner, like Laura said, and care enough about them to set them free. Because if they're failing, they know they're failing, and you're not doing them any good by keeping them in your world just to have them fail. And so we're going to also share with you guys the mindset and getting over yourself and understanding that you got to put your leadership hat on. You got to continue to grow. We share our book list that we have added to over time, because this is a big deal, but it's super, super important that you grow into this, and you will.
Mhm.
And I will tell you that as I have grown in my leadership, I have grown in my life.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the best thing with that is the leadership journey is long and steep and with some potholes, and it is never over, ever.
No.
Right? It's never over. And I think we get to look back sometimes, and the guiding light that I use is I look back on Laura 5 years ago. Laura 5 years ago would be like, are you kidding me? That's your life? Do you know what I mean? And so the hope and the joy I take with that is the Laura 5 years from now, I can't wait to meet her.
She's
Like,
a badass.
gonna be great. Gonna be, girl, she already is. So just saying.
Well, I appreciate you, Laura, for being such a badass business partner, because I love growing and learning with you. And I think that you all should hang out with us in the next few weeks. We've got the launch of our three-week class, and I think you'll learn a lot. And I know that you'll learn a lot. I keep learning every time that I get together with Laura, and we'll offer up, we do have a 10% off discount code, by the way. So we're going to offer that
Everybody
up.
loves savings. Yeah.
Let's save it.
Maybe we'll do another one or two of these little kind of fireside chats, if you will, too, just to kind of chat and let people know. And we'll put a link in the comments of this video for people if you want to register. Register. If you want to register and save your seat for our Jennie will do jazz hands every time someone buys her ticket. It's going to be great.
You notice that's my best emoji, is I'm always about the high fives.
Yeah.
I love the high fives.
Put a link there. And guys, if there's one thing I can tell you about our class, it's we're real honest about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're very passionate about this subject. So and we joked that we created a class at the first time called Badass Talent, just so we can say the word badass and get away with it. So you're welcome for what you're about to experience.
It makes us chuckle, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, it does. I love this class. I think it's valuable. We had a great group take it the first time around. And
it'll only be better. We're going to get better. We're going to add more to the Google Drive. If you have taken it before, we'll keep those drives live. You can come back and get more goodies. So know that that's always the case as well.
Always be adding.
Add that to our list.
Writing that down.
Okay, putting that one down. Well, you guys have a great weekend. And of course, if you need anything, reach out. And Laura, I'll see you later.
All right, sounds good. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.